The following podcast contains spoilers and some rude language. We watch a thing. We watch a thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing. It's me, Billy. It's him, Dave. How you doing, mate?
I'm good.
I'm
bloated and full of Japanese food, but I'm good.
Glad to hear that you're good, because I got some very worrying text messages from you last night when you were watching Mean Girls the musical. I was like, oh dear, Dave's gone to a dark place.
I do like to troll you.
Well, this is going to be a fun one, because we are talking not one movie, not two movies. We've seen 3 movies this week. So this is great. We've got Mean Girls the musical, The Beekeeper, and Anyone But You. And I'm pretty excited for this one. I think that we what do you think we should do? Should we start with the worst? Should we start with the best?
Well, we don't know which is the worst or the best. I mean, you could start with what you think is the worst or the best.
Well,
as we know from the Iron Claw, sometimes we're not in alignment at all.
I was going to say that we should do a countdown and then at the same time reveal which one we thought was either worst or best.
Okay. Do you want to do worst or best?
Let's do best. Let's start with the best and leave the worst till last. As is, All right. All right, so I'm going to count down from 3, and then at the same time, we'll say what we think was the best.
Do we say it on 1 or do we say it after 1?
We say it after 1.
So 3, 2, 1, then we go.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. The Beekeeper.
Anyone But You.
Oh,
fuck! Really?
I knew that was going to happen. All right, well, in that case, then let's start with Mean Girls, which I guess is in the middle. All right. In that case, Mean Girls is a 2024 American musical teen comedy film directed by Samantha Jane and Otero Perez Jr. in their feature directorial debuts, from a screenplay by Tina Fey, based on the Broadway musical of the same name, which in turn was based on the 2004 comedy film written by Tina Fey, which in turn was based on a book called Queen Bees and Wannabes by Rosalind Wiseman. It stars Anjali Rice, Renee Rapp, Ali Cravalho, and Christopher Briney. And
I have to stop you there. Ali
Cravalho. Cravalho, okay.
I checked it on YouTube.
And I'm not going to bother asking you what it's about, because who in the world has not seen the 2004 film? And this is the exact same shit with some shit songs in it. So let's get into it then. Dave, like I said, you sent some messages last night implying very heavily that you were not enjoying the film. Were those trolling? How did you actually feel about the film?
I do like to tease you. Look, you and I are both big fans of Mean Girls, and as you said, this is basically the same film.
I mean, it's no wonder it's written by Tina Fey, because, there are whole segments that are the exact same script, and all the I don't get it. If you're going to do this, at least do it for a modern audience, right? Like, the world has changed a lot in 20 years.
I think we can both agree this thing has no reason for existing.
Yeah.
But I was sort of teasing you, but making out that I thought this was possibly the worst thing of the year. And it is. This film is utter dog shit.
See, I'm a little more level-headed. I don't think it's the worst of my biggest problem with this film is
what
that
have
it's
you seen
just
in
fine.
2024 that is worse than this?
Worse than this?
Yeah,
Anyone But You.
Don't you dare.
Two can play the trolling game. No, look, here's my problem. My biggest problem with this film is that it's just perfectly average, because the truth is I love the 2004 film, and for the most part, like you said, this is the exact same script. So for a lot of the movie, I'm enjoying it and having a decent time, and then every 5 to 10 minutes there is a god-awful song, because none of the songs are good, none of them are catchy, none of them are well-written.
Oh, so bad.
They are the worst songs I've ever seen in anything ever. And they just take you out completely.
The thing that surprised me, this was apparently successful on Broadway.
I don't understand how. I don't get it.
I assumed the songs would at least be fucking Lin-Manuel Miranda average.
Yeah.
Like Disney average.
They're way worse
These
than
are
that.
not even
These
Disney.
are bad songs.
I would rather watch one of the fucking Disney Descendants movies for the music.
100%.
These songs are forgettable shit.
There were 2 songs that I thought were maybe half decent. Every time fucking Renee Rapp opened her mouth, I hated it. I am Regina George. Just the worst shit. Well, not just shit, just like a bad song.
Yeah. Oh, it's just I've got to say, I do have 4 positives.
I wonder if they're the same as mine. I wonder if they're the same as mine.
4 positive things where this film is as good or better than the original.
Yep. Okay, let's hear them, because I wonder if at least one of them is the same as mine.
1, Andrea Rice is better than Lindsay Lohan.
She's very good. She's good. I like her.
She's always good ever since... What was the thing she was a little kid in? Nice Guys, the Shane Black thing.
She's very good. And I like the casting of Jenna Fisher as her mum as well, because fuck, they look similar.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize Jenna Fisher. I mean, we all aged, but I mean, I haven't seen her in all that much. I didn't even pick her, but no, she was good. But yeah, Andrea Rice.
Yep.
2, John Hamm, full stop. Doesn't need any more explanation than that. 3, I liked Moana.
Yeah, I loved her. She was the best thing about it.
Lizzie Kaplan annoys me. I think she was as good as Lizzie Kaplan.
I'm madly in love with Lizzie Kaplan.
I
am now madly in love with Auli Carvalho. I loved her. I thought she was easily the best thing about this film.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw her name in the cast. I was like, who the hell is she? And oh my God.
Yeah.
Surprise casting.
She had so much charm. And she was so funny. She was easily the best singer in the film. I loved her.
I don't even remember his name because it's not important. I'm just going to call him African-American Daniel Franzese.
Yeah, Damien.
Literally, close your eyes. The internet, everything about this character
is
has
the
not
same
changed.
as the original, yeah, which I actually liked. I was on board with.
It's if it was less perfect, I would have found it slightly almost insulting that he'd obviously aping it. But he is so perfect to the point where I can close my eyes and not tell what film I was watching.
Yeah.
I got to give him props.
I agree. For me, they are the best 2 things about the film is
Busy
Janice
Phillips,
and Damien.
Way better than Amy Poehler, and just inspired casting. If you're going to cast someone as Renee Rapp's mum, Busy Phillips is perfect. The flip side, Renee Rapp is no Busy Phillips, and I would have rather have a young Busy Phillips from 20 years ago would have been better than Renee Rapp.
Yep.
Sorry, Gerald Morris. I know you're fucking in love with her, but she's not that good.
Here's my biggest problem with the film, apart from the fact that it is almost an identical script, which, again, actually, in some ways is the best thing about the film, because I like the script. The script works.
Well, yeah, but we were saying, what is the point of, other than the fact that this is technically a movie of a musical of a film, not a remake of the film, whatever, fuck off, I don't care. But we were saying,
how can you argue that when you bring back...
I mean, if it's been almost 20 years, fine. Maybe we were saying, they're going to bring in mobile phones, they're going to update it.
None of that.
There's a couple of bits where they've got, and the direction on this film is fucking god awful. But where they try to bring in texting and TikToks and whatever, and it's so ham-fisted and clumsy. I was like, oh my God, this is not a Gen Z or millennial director bringing what they know to the table.
Yeah.
This feels like some nerdy millennial who doesn't use any of this stuff doing what they think is cool to justify the fact that they're making this film, because it was so fucking ham-fisted and badly done.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I don't know. For me, how can you argue that this is a remake of the musical and not the film when you bring people back like Tim Meadows and Tina Fey in the exact same role? Like when you're doing that, it's clearly linked to the film.
And the thing that's fucking weird about it is he's got his cast on and making reference to the fact he's referring back to the first film.
Yeah.
But you've got characters by the same name. Pick a fucking lane. It doesn't work.
Yeah. For me, the absolute worst thing about the film is the plastics. The 3, Regina, Gretchen.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There is nothing there in them for me. They are not interesting. They are not good actors. They are not good singers.
They're all terrible. They're not very attractive.
No.
Sorry, Gerald, again.
And like the Amanda Seyfried character, they have just flanderized the shit out of her. She is just so over the top stupid in this film that it's just grating by the end of it.
And they've both obviously been told to go and watch the original, which they probably hadn't seen because they're too young.
Yeah.
They've been told to go and watch it, and they're because they're not very good actresses, they're copying what they saw, but doing it really badly.
Yeah.
And when you're copying actresses as talented as Lacey Chabert and Amanda Seyfried and Rachel McAdams, and you're this untalented.
Yeah.
And I keep referring to this as I know this is not a Disney film, but it kind of feels like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are just fucking awful.
Yeah, I much like you was not a fan of this film. Again, I don't think it's the worst thing we're going to see this year, but my biggest gripe with it is it's not only pointless, it's worse than pointless because it's mediocre. So yeah, I am a flat 5 out of 10 on this. I'm guessing that you're much lower than that.
Oh my God, yes. This is like a fucking 1.5. No, look. I'm going to give
you got to give
half
props
to Angela Rice. I'm going to give a half to John Hamm.
You're just like her at the prom. You're breaking the crown up, and you're.
I am, yes. So we what's that? 1.5. Oh, look, I'll throw in an extra. No, I can't go to a 2. There's no way this is. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I'm a 1. I can't go to a 2. This is a 1.5. Wow. And I feel like I'm being generous. This was so bad.
Wow, fair. Okay, all right.
And I feel bad for the few people in it. Like, what the fuck was John Hamm thinking?
Yeah,
I know we know why Tina Fey is there, because Tina Fey.
Yeah,
and we're starting to get to the point now where my affection for her is waning because she is the same in everything.
Yeah,
her delivery, her everything, the meaning of her lines might change, but her delivery in Only Murders is no different than her as a nerdy school teacher in this. Her intonation, everything.
100%
She's
true.
just Tina Fey now, so I'm kind of off the. I used to love her, and I now just sort of have a mild memory of a fondness. But John Hamm, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
well, I mean, where should we go to next? Shall we bring you up with Anyone But You, which you clearly liked the most this week, or shall we do some beekeeping?
We'll go to Beekeeper.
All right.
I had fun with Beekeeper. I'm not going to hate on it.
Beekeeper is hands down to me both the best and the worst film I'm going to see this year. It is so poorly written, and yet it is so much fucking fun.
Yeah, okay. We're going to be on this. I don't rate it as quite as highly as you. I feel like I'm going to get a little bit of that Fast 10 rhetoric from you on this. But I had fun with it. I was watching it going, this is the dumbest piece of shit.
Is it?
The
is it
writing
ever?
is so
just the
awful.
concept alone, the fact that he is part of a secret segment of the CIA called Beekeepers, and he is also a literal beekeeper, is just fucking
Kurt
stupid.
Kurt Wimmer's a bad fucking. We somehow keep expecting something good to come from Kurt Wimmer because Equilibrium was good. He has not done a good thing since Equilibrium, and that was like his first or second thing he wrote. Everything else has been, Suicide Squad. But he's reteaming with David Ayer, David Ayer's done some good stuff, but when he's with Kurt Wimmer, it seems like he just gets dragged down.
Nah, this movie was fucking amazing. So Beekeeper is a 2024 American action thriller film directed by, as you said, David Ayer and written by Kurt Wimmer. It stars Jason Statham, Emmy Raver-Lattman, Josh Hutcherson, Bobby Naderi, Minnie Driver, and Jeremy Irons. And the best way to describe this film is, as a character says in the film, he fucks with bees. I could not stop laughing at that. What do you mean he's a beekeeper? I mean, he fucks with bees.
The whole idea that there is this... I like to mock the John Wick franchise just because people put it on a pedestal.
Oh, this kicks the shit out of John Wick for me.
Average.
This is so much better.
Each successive Wick film kind of attempts to build this world, and the world is increasingly fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. From
the first film where we had police and it was a normal world to a world where there's seemingly no police and this weird subculture and fucking coins. Oh, it's ludicrous.
Yeah.
But the backstory that they've put in for this secret organization, as you say, a literal beekeeper.
Yeah.
I would love it if the who was it? Wasn't Sophia Patella, was it? Who did they trot out as the
the other beekeeper? I don't even know. Yeah.
But oh my God, don't get her. She's great. And she lasts about 3 seconds.
Yes.
But she apparently was a beekeeper. I mean, did she keep bees as well?
Is he the only one who, for some reason, is obsessed with literal beekeeping?
Retired and took his job description literally and just decided to go and actually keep bees?
Oh, man. Yeah, and honestly, the only thing this film needed was more bee analogies. I could not hear the phrase protect the hive enough times. Just keep saying it.
Sometimes you get one that's called, what is it?
A queen slayer. Yeah. It just kept getting better and better and better. And for the first 20 minutes of the film where supposedly you don't know that he's a CIA agent, although he's clearly, like got skills and stuff. And he just keeps telling everyone, I'm a beekeeper. It's just so much fucking fun. I loved this movie, man.
So I mean, basic premise. For all we know, he's just a guy that has hives and makes honey.
Yeah.
And the only person who's ever taken care of him is Blair Huxtable, who then falls for the world's most obvious and pathetic internet scam.
Yep.
I mean, it could have been someone calling up going, I'm the king of Nigeria. And loses charity money. And the only recourse she has rather than call the police is to
kill
go
us.
in the other room
I know.
and blow her brains out. What?
It's completely wild. Like, it's so poorly written, and yet at the same time, I will give the film credit here. You fucking hate those bad guys. Like, those bad guys are bad.
Josh Hutcherson is having so much fucking fun.
He's not just chewing the scenery, he is swallowing it. He is just ripping off whole pieces of drywall and ramming them in his mouth. Like, he is.
In fact, and he is not the biggest scenery chewer in this.
Oh, no.
We'll get to the mercenaries later.
Oh, the mercenaries are fantastic. The moment where, Statham has tied the guy to the car and he's about to drive him off the bridge and the guy's like, please, I have NFTs. It just made me laugh so fucking much. Like, this movie is so poorly written, and yet it does a lot of things right. Like, from a narrative perspective, it's not awful. And
his rampage and total disregard for them. I mean, this guy supposedly is the equivalent of like an ex-CIA agent, except he's from some mythical, non-denominational, bipartisan group of apiarists. But he's presumably a retired law enforcement person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who then happily slaughters innocent people from start to fucking finish.
Okay, this is what I like about this movie is that usually in a movie like this, you would feel that way. Like some of the henchmen, you're like, oh, come on, they can't be that bad.
No one thinks of the henchmen.
But this movie, I think, makes a really good point of showing that the henchmen are dicks as well. Like, when they're all, like, cheering him, scamming
he didn't check for fucking cleaners and that when he blew up the building at the start.
Yeah, that's true. But now we're getting back to the old philosophical debate. What about the plumbers on the Death Star?
Exactly. I'm not arguing that point. But, I mean, the White House, he just mows down Secret Service.
Yeah.
We know, and again, speaking of Gemma Redgrave, what's she fucking doing in this? Anyway.
Is she the detective?
Least believable
Claire
president.
Huxtable's, the president, yeah.
The least believable president who, I mean, every dollar that went towards Trump's campaign is questioned by half of the world. This woman's entirely funded by ripping off pensioners.
Yeah.
And apparently no one's looked into where her funds come from. They said, oh, no, she's independently wealthy. But apparently we don't audit them or they don't do tax returns. They've just got this shell company that is making hundreds of millions of dollars a week or a month. I forget what they say. They make millions of dollars a day from each of the satellite offices of this company.
Yeah.
And all they do is rip off people.
Yeah.
There's no cover.
Yeah.
That's just what they do. How that? And it's run by the president's son?
Yeah. It's such a bad movie, and yet it is such a good movie. Honestly, there is a very high chance that at the end of the year, this is going to be on both my worst of and best of lists.
Oh, okay.
Because it's so badly written, but it is so much fucking fun. And this movie, here's the other thing about it. It knows what it is. You shat on me a little bit for Fast X. Yeah, you shat on me a little bit for that. And even that, I will still argue that movie knows what it is. The only person who doesn't is Diesel, and that actually makes it even funnier to me because he is taking it so seriously. But this movie knows that it is just... I had
so much more fun with this than I did with Fast 10.
And I'll tell you what.
Fast 10 irritated me because I don't think it's well done. I don't think it's... I mean, the writing is obviously abysmal and the premise is ridiculous and all the rest of it. But I didn't feel like anyone except for Momoa is poking fun at it anymore. All the rest of the cast seem to have just drunk the Kool-Aid from my, I know you don't feel the same, but to me, Tyrese, all the rest of those fuckers, they're all on board now. They've been in the compound for too long and they've joined the cult. Momoa was the only one who was treating that film the way it should be treated.
Yeah.
So of course Vin Diesel had to tear him to shreds in the media, but this film, I don't think anyone's taken seriously. They all know what kind of film this is.
Yeah, I honestly, I hope that this becomes a franchise. I will watch 20 more of these films. It is so much fun.
Well, we're going to get it, that ridiculous ending where he just strides off into the ocean. Genius. He's going to walk the earth like Kane.
I got to say, I actually think that a lot of the action scenes and there's a lot more violence in this film than I thought there'd be. And
he's unlike a lot of people his age that are still trying to do
action. He can still move.
Statham can still fucking swing it about. He's kicking ass and making it believable.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty good fights and kills and whatnot.
Yeah.
His lengthy fight with that hilarious South African head mercenary.
Oh my God. And then he gets shot through the face and is still coming after him like the fucking Terminator.
And all the time with this ludicrously heavy South African accent, which just made it so much funnier.
Yeah.
Come on, Beekeeper.
I killed a beekeeper once. Yeah. Honestly, I am a 9 out of 10.
When they're sitting in the fucking Oval Office or whatever with the president in the fucking, I don't know, it wasn't the White House. It was like her summer retreat.
Yeah.
But the fucking the president's mansion, Secret Service fucking everywhere, and they're like, no, get rid of them. we've got something better. And this guy comes out, and he's funny enough.
Yeah.
He looks ridiculous. He's dressed like one of the cast of Losers.
Yeah.
And talking like he's the bee's knees. And, I've
nice pun there. I see what you did there. You know what you do when
you see a beekeeper? You run. And then his team arrive.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting something impressive. And they look like a fucking circus troupe.
Yep.
It's every cliche of character.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was hysterical. Because up until he came in, it was over the top action, but it was semi-grounded. As soon as you get out to that, he's going in and blowing up buildings and shit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But everyone in it.
Yeah.
They might be yuppie wankers. They might be, a bit over the top, but they're kind of normal humans.
Yeah.
As soon as you get out to that party and the mercenaries coming, I was like, oh my God, these are like characters from Fortnite.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I am a 9 out of 10 on this film.
Of course you are.
I fucking loved it. I loved it. Where are you?
I can't. I had a lot of fun with it, but it's a piece of shit. I'm a 6.5 purely for the fun factor.
That is the harshest shit I have ever heard. That is so much harsher than what you did to me. I'm pretty sure it's about double what I go Fast 10. So I feel like it's just no. Look, it's a terrible film. But it's a lot of fun. I'm not giving The Room 9 out of 10, but I'll watch it 50 times because it's fun. All right, well, let's get over to our last film of the week then, which is Anyone But You, a 2023 American romantic comedy film directed by Will Gluck, who co-wrote the screenplay with Ilana Walpert, based on Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare. It stars Sydney Sweeney's Knockers, Glenn Powell's Junk, Alexandra Shipp, Gartar, Hadley Robinson, Michelle Hurd, Dermot Mulroney, Darren Barnett, Brian Brown, and Rachel Griffiths. And again, I don't know if I'm going to bother asking you what it's about because it's
a semi-Shakespearean retread, done in a rather nifty fashion. I thought.
Okay,
I like the little clever interstitials with the quotes and the lines and things, giving us chapter names and things.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. I think The Beekeeper is a lot better. But it had Sydney Sweeney in it, so I saw it. Here's my biggest problem with this film. I know that I talk a big game about Sydney Sweeney, and I do think she's very attractive. However, that woman has zero charisma. She is just a blank slate.
Look, she's no Anna Kendrick, but she's fun to watch.
I don't think she is. To me, it's like, okay, you know how like Aubrey Plaza has made a career off being the dull girl, but she does it in an extremely funny and charming way.
It's very unfair to compare anyone to Aubrey Plaza because they're going to come off.
The thing about Sydney Sweeney is that she is so incredibly dull. Her voice is so flat. Honestly, if it weren't for how outrageously good looking she is, I don't think she would have a career. And I feel bad saying that. I know you're not supposed to say these things these days. I sound like Wayne from The Countdown, but like I gotta be truthful. I just think that she's a terrible actress.
I think she's a passable actress. I think she's capable enough to have it as a job.
Yes, I agree.
Winning awards.
Here's my thing with her. I actually think that she's very good, but ironically, no matter how attractive she is not a romantic lead. That's my biggest thing. I just don't think she has any charm.
Is that bogan stick insect that was supposed to be her rival?
She was all right.
Oh, could they have made her more rocker, mate?
Well, she is Australian.
We get to the big elephant in the room, which is how borderline fucking racist this film is against everyone from our home country, Cobber. Well, could we have had more? Not only every fucking cliched line that no one in Australia has said since Barry Mackenzie in 1973.
Yeah.
But they made up shit that aren't even fucking colloquialisms.
Well, I find it really interesting, and I'm wondering because Will Gluck, who wrote and directed the film, probably most famous for Easy A, I guess, before this. But you may or may not know.
I get him confused on paper, at least, with Paul Feig. Is it?
Yeah, okay. I can see that. Paul Feig did Bridesmaids. So Will Gluck did Easy A. I believe he's British, but he also made a little film called Peter Rabbit, which was made here in Australia. Which I
should know better.
I worked on, but so I think he spent a good 6 months to a year here in Australia working on the film because that was a collaboration.
Just enough to know how to parody us, but not enough to get it.
Yeah, so it was interesting to see the choices.
You've got the likes of Rachel Griffiths and Brian. Rachel Griffiths playing an American.
Yeah. I know.
And then you've got an American playing Brian Brown's wife.
That's what I found bizarre. Yeah, I found that really strange. You're going to bring in, one of Australia's most famous actresses and make her American for no reason, even though the film is set in Australia. Fucking bizarre choice. I must say, though, inspired choice to have her who's most famously known for Muriel's Wedding and Dermot Mulroney, of course, from My Best Friend's Wedding. Playing in this film about a wedding.
That
Inspired
is nice.
casting.
Like
yeah, love it.
My namesake.
Yep.
Doing some good work.
Yeah, he was good. He's the best thing about the film. I think that he works for me. I think this movie's fine. I don't think it's bad. I wouldn't go raving about it. Let me ask you this. Obviously, it's a comedy. Did you laugh?
Oh, several times. I would say this is an above-average romantic comedy.
Yeah, okay. I laughed a lot at the scene where...
I wanted them to get together,
and
I laughed a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't laugh at any of the fucking Australian... The bits that were meant to be funny.
Oh, come on.
Himbo fucking idiot.
Yeah, no, he was good. He was funny.
He was not good. He was cringeworthy and painful every moment he was on screen. I get the reason for him being there, but I think it was too much. I think to the majority of an American audience, it's not going to be as over the top as it seems to us.
Yeah.
So I have to sort of go, okay, I'm looking at this with a different set of eyes, but I found him painful at best. But I enjoyed everyone. The spider scene out in the bush.
I was going to say that was easily the best scene. That was
absolutely
hilarious.
Myself. And so many levels, like all the stuff they were doing, the bit with the spider itself, which was hilarious.
Yeah, the rest of the group looking at the koala.
The attempt to try to teach one another how to realistically grab each other's asses. Somehow he goes to sticking his finger up at us. It's just like, do it to yourself. So I stick my finger up my own ass. It's like, is that what you're doing? But then the realization that no one is watching them. They're all just looking at this koala.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fucking hysterics.
I agree. I think there were
funny.
some very funny scenes. There were. Like all rom-coms, I think it can be picked apart a little bit. But yeah, I liked it. I was okay with it. I mean, anything with Sydney Sweeney, I'm going to watch at least twice.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're both of them. They're like an Aryan poster. Hitler would have had him on posters. I think I said that to you in a message. If he watched this movie, he'd be like, yes, I want them on the poster. That is what we all are striving for.
I love that character you've created there of Hitler as a film producer. I want to see more of this.
Yes, he's there with Leni Riefenstahl going, guys. And then after the film, we put them out the back and we make them bleed.
Oh, man.
No, I enjoyed this far more. I was literally, I can't remember if I messaged you. I saw it just on a whim. I was out at the shops doing something and just went, fuck it. I'll look at her Norks for 90 minutes. And wasn't expecting much because you'd messaged me saying, oh, look, I'm biased for a couple of reasons, but Noose thought it was a piece of shit. And let's face it,
so she hated it. She did not like it at all. Whereas I liked it. I think I'm about a 6 on it. I think it's above average. I don't think it's brilliant though. It sounds like you're higher than that though.
I think I'm about a 7.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Could even be 7.5. I'm gonna watch it again when it hits streaming. But I thought it was an above average rom-com. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All the way through. And if it didn't have the cringy Australiana shit with Brian Brown and fucking not Travis Fimmel, but the guy that looked like him, then I'd probably be a bit higher. I thought it was, it's better than My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah, see, that's a tough one because nostalgia tints that so much for me. There's a lot of movies like that where I rewatch.
Well, see, I liked all the main characters in this, and I wanted them to succeed. Whereas Julia Roberts in My Best Friend,
she's actually a pretty awful person,
and I want her not to succeed and be happy.
Yeah,
which kind of is a problem for that film.
Yep, true. All right, well, there you go. So of the 3 films we discussed this week, it sounds like 2 of them are at the very least soft recommends from both of us. For sure. And just steer the fuck clear of Mean Girls the musical.
Oh, like it's ball cancer.
All right, well, do we have any idea what we're getting to next week, mate?
Are we at Madam Web yet? I'm really fucking
keen for that.
Could we do a Sydney Sweeney 2 weeks in a row?
No, you know what we got? We got Argyle.
Yes. Do we really?
We do. We have no. Argyle is this Thursday. Either way, I know I'm booked in to see it next Monday.
Yes.
So yes, we got Argyle next, and then I think Madam Web is not until the 14th. So I think we've got something else in between those, but we'll figure it out.
Fair enough. Yep.
All right.
Argyle. I'm so happy.
Oh, me too. I'm keen. And in the meantime, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at wewatchthething.com or wewatchthething@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, all under the handle at wewatchthething. If you want to help support the show, you can do that over at patreon.com/wewatchthething, and we will catch you next week.
And don't fucking watch Mean Girls.